do is I want to show you how I use banks and key switches on Kontakt, especially using some particular libraries. The reason I'm doing this is because I was actually looking for this information on YouTube and I couldn't find anything that was clear and simple. So I decided to share this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am opening an instance of Kontakt. I'm opening Kontakt 5 in this case. You can use a newer version as well. And I will then go to the loading here menu, and under new instrument I have new instrument bank. I'm going to open a new instrument bank. It's going to look like that, and then if I press this little button here, it's going to give me 128 options or 128 different banks. This means that I could load in 128 different sounds, which I'm not gonna do. I'm just gonna do 6 sounds, and the reason I'm going to concentrate. I'll concentrate on the viola specifically because I find that there's not a lot of great viola libraries out there. I'm using LA scoring strings, which has separate performances and techniques, but it doesn't have the key switches like other libraries do, like Spitfire and other libraries do. Okay, so basically I'm starting with a solo. I'm loading in a solo legato sound, and this is gonna okay, great. That's going to sound like that. Now, the next thing I'm doing is I want to have, I don't think, yeah, I can play chords with this one, but this sound here is going to be more of my legato, slow legato slash portamento sound. The next one is going to be a sustain. I'm loading in a 3-layer sustain that sounds like this. Different sound for sure. The next one I want to do something short, like a staccato. Yeah. And the staccato is going to sound like this. I can still use the pedal switch, the pedal to create repeated notes like this. I can do the same thing with this spiccato. Spiccato will be a little shorter, actually, and I can also change the pattern of repetition, but I'm not going to do that right now. The next sound I'm going to upload is the pizzicato, which I will need. Yeah, and that's a pizzicato for LA strings on the violas. And the last one I'm going to do is a tremolo. Yeah, great. Tremolo sounds like this. Great. Now the trick is this. I don't want to be changing this manually. So what I'm going to do, what I'm doing next is I'm assigning a key switches. In order to assign key switches, I will go to this little button here next to the auxiliary, and then I'll go under bypasses, preset, factory, transform. I'm going to notes to program change. The next thing I will do is this. I have this little key. I'm not going to use the main keyboard for that. I'm going to use a little keyboard that I use for key switches. And the way I do key switches is I put them out of range, so it doesn't bother any of the sounds. I basically, what I'll do is I make sure that I'm in the right MIDI channel 1, and what I'm gonna hit learn key range. So by learning the key range, I press the MIDI key that I wanted to be my first sound, the legato, yeah, and I'm gonna give it an octave just in case. So the second one, the first one is a C-2, and then the range will be the octave from C-2 to C-1. Now, by doing this, I can, as you can see, I can change key switches, right? So in other words, learn key range, I press whatever the key range I want it to be. In this case, I want it to be outside of the range of any plain notes. And this is going to give me now a possibility of using the viola with key switches. And that's it. So basically, I got now my viola patch, and the next thing I will do is I'm going to save that, and I'm gonna save it as a multi, and I will save that multi as my viola solo viola LASS. Great. Now, the next thing is this. I could use the same technique to have different keyboards, or I can even have strings from different libraries. But say that I wanted to use different keyboards, that I wanted to use, for example, a combination of say some kind of yeah, okay, I changed that to some kind of a of Rhodes. The other one is going to be an organ, you know, and I'm just changing. Instead of using violas, I'm going to use different styles, different types of keyboards that are coming from different libraries. The neo soul keys I'm using for Rhodes vintage organs. The Kontakt library vintage organs I'm using for for organ, and now I'm actually loading a pretty full clavinet. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to add to that a couple of other options, like a nice vibraphone. I'm gonna put a vibraphone right there, where yeah, the vibraphone is going to take a little while because it's a big library. And the next one I'm going to do is I'm going to use a marimba as well. So now I'm creating using the same, basically the same switches. I am actually um, changing the sounds, and I'm actually going to be. Now the cool thing about this is that this is not really dependable on the DAW, and I'm not touching the DAW. I could be using this from a keyboard to a computer and a standalone Kontakt. So either for viola, for any kind of strings, for combining instruments from any libraries, um, I would recommend using this technique. Banks, learn key range, get the key range that works for you. In my case, I'm doing some a key range that is completely out of reach from any playable notes, and then save it and have fun with it. Make some good music. Okay, thank you. Bye.